everybody. And Mamawala. Thank you. One more time for James, guys. All right. It is nice to be here. You guys have been a very good crowd, and I genuinely appreciate doing shows like this because I do terrible shows regularly. I recently passed the 1-year anniversary of the worst show I've ever done. It was last year in my hometown in New Jersey. It was on a show where I was sandwiched in between 2 heavy metal bands. Did not go well. And after the show, a kid I had not seen since high school walked up to me and said, and I quote, "I can't believe I ironed a polo for this." Feels terrific. Go ahead and get this out of the way if you're wondering what kind of tan person I am. My dad is from India, and my mom is a tiny white lady from Wisconsin. So, statistically speaking, I should not even exist, but I am here. I'm literally happy to be here on this planet. I feel like it usually works to my advantage if people have no idea what the hell I am, but that's not always the case, and the reason for that is, as a comic in New York, you do multiple shows every night. You do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. And I've noticed I have this habit recently where whenever I'm on the subway in between shows, I want to be preparing myself for the next place I'm going to. So what I do is I take out my cell phone, I set the stopwatch like 5 minutes, and I'm kind of running through my material in my head, which is fine for me because I know what I'm doing. But to everyone else in that subway car, I'm just an ethnically ambiguous, unshaven man who is mumbling things to himself and laughing while he watches a stopwatch go from 5 minutes down to scaring a lot of tourists. It's true, I'm very in-between looking in terms of my age and my race. So your perception of me is going to be very much based on your own level of fear and paranoia. Like, I have the kind of phase where if I get off the subway and I leave a backpack, there's a certain kind of person who thinks, oh no, that nice Latino college student's going to do poorly on his midterms. There's also another kind of person who's like, well, we've had a good run, I guess this is it. Figure out which person you are. I was inadvertently homophobic on the subway recently. It's an odd thing to say, but I'll explain. First of all, I'm pro-gay marriage, I'm pro-gay rights, but I have mild OCD. I have some obsessive-compulsive tendencies that I can't control. And I do this thing on the train often where I want the metal bar to line up with the center of the sliding doors within my eye line. If it doesn't, it makes my brain hurt, because that's how OCD works. So I'm doing my weird OCD thing, and unbeknownst to me, there's a gay couple sitting in the 2-seater by the door, but all they're seeing me doing from their perspective is squinting towards them and just going like this. A lot. So finally one of them goes, "Do you have a problem?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." Because I thought he was asking about the OCD, like I was concerned for my well-being. So they got up and angrily left the train, and it wasn't until a few stops later that I realized what had happened. And while I feel bad they thought I was a bigot, if I'm being honest with myself, I think I would ultimately rather be thought of as a homophobe than as a guy who's doing whatever the hell I was doing. It's a little sad, but when I was 12, my grandpa died, and it came as a real shock, because he'd never done that before. But this is my white grandpa, by the way. That's going to be important in a minute. The day that he died, I was supposed to play in this basketball game. I didn't want to go because I was upset, but my mom insisted that I go. She's like, "No, you should really play. It's what he would have wanted. He loved watching you play sports." But a couple days later, we went to his funeral, and I realized people only ever use that phrase to encourage positive things. Because after the funeral, we went out for lunch, and our waiter was black, and I tapped my mom on the shoulder, and I was like, "Should we ask for a different waiter?" She's like, "What?" And I was like, "It's what Grandpa would have wanted." He's an intensely racist man. Twist ending, my grandpa was a dick. I'm excited to tell you folks that I'm actually getting married in September of this year. Thank you. Wow, thanks so much, man. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. Yes, I'm very happy, which apparently is primarily relatable to that man, so thanks for that. My fiance's name is Allie, but she spells it A-L-I, so on paper it looks like it might be in a same-sex relationship with a Muslim man. But I appreciate her a lot because I've been in terrible relationships before. Like, I was dating a girl one time who got into this very intense diet, which I was fine with, until she started incorporating all these cheat days where she would still eat really healthy but have sex with other guys. I feel like there's a lot of talk always about double standards between men and women, and as a guy, I'm willing to acknowledge that it's usually easier to be a male. There's certain things that women can do that men can never pull off in a million years. Like a couple years ago, Bud Light aired a Super Bowl commercial that most of you probably saw. It was called Ian Up for Whatever. It's this hidden camera thing where this girl walks up to a guy by himself at a bar. She's holding a Bud Light. She goes, "Hey, if I give this to you, are you up for whatever happens next?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure," and then proceeds to have the best night he's ever had. But if a man walks up to a woman by herself at a bar with an open Bud Light bottle and asks her if she's up for whatever happens next, that is not a Bud Light commercial, that's a public service announcement. I got engaged this past March, but we just moved in together, my fiance and I, a couple months ago. And I'm learning some things about her that I did not know. One of the things I figured out, I had no idea how much she talked in her sleep. Like, I was aware of it to some degree, but it's rampant. And there's different categories. Like, some of them are purely nonsensical. The first week we were living together, she rolled over in bed and proclaimed, "There are tiny hairs in my nose, and they're all my own." It's not untrue, but it is bizarre. That was kind of embarrassing. I farted pretty loud in bed, like enough that she moved, okay? And I was like, "I'm sorry." And she responded, "Whatever will be, will be." Incredibly thoughtful and philosophical response to gas. There's only been one mean one so far. She works a normal person job, so she goes to sleep at like 9 or 10, and I come home late, and I give her a kiss goodnight. So I did that a couple weeks ago. I came home, like 2 in the morning, I gave her a kiss. I was like, "Good night, I love you." And she replied, "I love you when I need things from you." She may have been awake. We need to reevaluate some things there. The other thing I've learned about her, apologize for being crass, but she poops faster than I can pee. I genuinely don't understand it. And she waits until the last possible minute to do so. Now, my theory about this is I think that women societally have been trained to be very discreet about whatever's going on in there, and then they develop unhealthy bathroom habits. That's what I think is going on. Nobody's going to agree with me publicly, but I'm getting a lot of silent eye contact from women. That corroborates my hypothesis. In any case, I have warned Allie about this because I think it's a dangerous game to play, and there's not always going to be a bathroom available. And I called her Icarus because I believe she's flying too close to the sun, and it's going to backfire eventually. And I don't mean for that to be a pun, but it can be if you want it to be. And unfortunately, I was proven right. What happened was, so we were living in Astoria, Queens, and then we moved to Brooklyn. Yeah, and then her commute got like 15 minutes longer. So she underestimated that, and she's on her way to work and realizes like, all right, this is not a good situation. I need to find a bathroom quickly. Gets off the train, she runs to her office, she works on the 10th floor, she's on the elevator on the way up. She can't hold it. Just goes back down, doesn't even go to work, just comes home. Horrible, embarrassing, traumatic, all those things. Here's the silver lining. 1 month later, we were getting our engagement photos taken. And at one point, the photographer was like, "All right, Adam, I want you to whisper something into Allie's ear that only the two of you know about. And I'm gonna take a picture and capture her candid reaction." So, because I'm an asshole, I leaned in and I was like, "Hey, Allie, remember last month when you shit your pants?" And she started laughing, and that photo is our save the date. I know that seemed like a poop joke, but that's a joke about true love. Alright, I'm Adam Mamawala. Have a good night. Thank you.
Always good. Adam Mamawala. Always good. Give it up for him. The rest of the time.